You know, there's a difference between being given an authority and being a leader. You see, let me give an example with a teacher. A teacher, while about to go shule, when a teacher is given an authority to compose a student doing what is right. But that is a word that he has been given by the certain school somewhere. But now, this is the difference between the being an authority and being a leader. That the teacher is being given that power to having a title and having influence. There's a difference between having a title and what? Having what? Influence. So you can have a title and still influence nobody. That's the funniest thing. You can have a title but still influence nobody. You can have a position one is viewing. What am I trying to be? Influence in leadership. A good leader must have an influence. Some of the greatest leaders in the Bible did start with the position. You see, when you read the Bible from Genesis to Revelation, most leaders who are in that mention the Bible didn't have position, didn't have titles. So what to call the influence. Some of the greatest leaders in the Bible didn't have those. You see somebody like Joseph. Joseph would impress people. Another guy to love is this guy called David in the Bible. Not only even David, but even Jesus Christ himself influenced people. Jesus did not build his ministry around a title. No, he built it around people. He called them, he trained them, he loved them, and he corrected them. That is being a good leader. Unaweza sifiwe. Sisi kama tunaelewana. Being a leader is how you build your influence around people. How you train them, how you love them, how you, if they are gone wrong, you correct them, how you restore them, and how you handle all about yourself. That is the biggest dangerous thing in leadership. You are making everything of yourself. And that is why you find yourself asking yourself some question. How can I serve? A leader doesn't do that. A leader is telling he understands what their people want and where do they want to go so that he may lead them to that place. Mahali pamoja no, make us tell those people to run a high position that will say truly the leader has taken us. A good leader is not about all Christian leadership is not about making your name great. Christian leadership is not making your name great. It is about making God's name great. Bwana Yesu asifiwe. Kuna viongozi wakifanya kitu, they want to be seen how good they are. They want to build their name so that when you stand, people start saying, Andrew is a good leader. No, leadership is not about making your name great. Leadership is all about making God's name great. It is all about making God's name great. That is why I talked about it and understand this. That when people started following Jesus, he would say, he must increase, but I must do what? He must decrease. And that will be the heart of every Christian leader that you call yourself your leader. Church. That you allow God to increase. You see, sometimes we are given some positions in the church. It's in a certain place, or even outside. At the moment you get that position, the prayer that is now grows. such a way in my career, no one can do without me in that position. But it's my own prayer that if you want to be a good leader, let your pride go down. What else does it feel? Let our ego that we may have. Let our selfishness that we may have go down. Let our need of attention don't be just people who so go and make your person creating attention everywhere. No, that is not being a good leader. That is why we need to bring God that we let our attention to God. And then after we do this, we let God, we let Christ increase in our midst. Oneness of the feeling. Because the greatest is not the man with the biggest title. No, he is the one who points people to Christ. He is the one who directs people, who shows people the best way to go to Christ. When I saw people who lead them, let me just show you something to prepare people to be the Lord. When I saw people, I want you to understand, are the people that you're leading, do they meet the Lord through your leadership? Je, watu ambao unaongoza, do they meet the Lord through your leadership? You see, Christ is coming soon. And because he is coming soon, we must prepare for him. And our purpose is not just produce members only. No, we must produce disciples. And that is there is a difference. Church member, there's a difference. Being just a normal member and being a disciple of Christ. You know, you can just be a member, you just come to church, you stay, you don't do anything, but you see there's a work that Christ has given his disciples. And for a true Christian, you call yourself you are a disciple of Christ. What is the order of the disciple, by the way? You might be talking of something that you don't know. Disciples follows Jesus. A church member may know doctrine, and disciples need them. If there are church doctrines that they teach church, see, there are some doctrines that we follow as a church. See, there are some doctrines that we follow as a church. Now, as a good disciple of Christ, we need to follow. We need to live by what they say. We don't even as a leader. The doctrines that we have given, that we want in a church, we need to stay, we need to live as they have. A disciple is transformed by those doctrines. We need to know, we need to understand the God who has given us the power to lead people. That is why Jesus is saying that we have to be good, because we have to be good because He has chosen us. Even before He chose you. And people becoming so close to God because of our leadership. Je, uongozi kwa ninapewa na kanisa ama ni eneo fulani? Je, watu wanakuja kwa Yesu kwa sababu ya uongozi wangu? You need to be the one who can be a good leader. You need to lead people, focusing on people becoming more close to Jesus Christ. One is a and if your leadership is bringing people closer to Christ, then that is a good way. Keep on. But if not, something needs to change in your life. If your leadership that you are, it's not changing people to come closer to Christ, then something must be changed. You see, the text that we read, our lead text, that is Isaiah chapter 1, verse 19. I told you there's some ones where we will focus on them, what we call obedience. This year we are speaking of obedience. You obey and lead. Obedience. Leadership begins with obedience. For you to be a good leader, you have to be obedient. For you to want to be a good leader in the presence of God, you need to be obedient. Leadership starts with obedience. That is why you can't lead people where you are not willing to go. No, you can't lead people where you are not willing to go. If you want people to pray, you must pray with them. If you want people to study the Bible, you must study with them. If you want people to attend church, you must. When you say, a good leader, a good leadership begins with obedience. If you want people to evangelize, you must do the first line. Okay. If you want young people to live, your life must show beauty first for the church. When I speak, follow, we need to see first from you so that you may follow. That is being a good leader. Even when you don't, people are watching on you. And even most of the time you won't realize that people are watching you. They want to follow what you do. You see, some people learn more from your life than from your words. Leaders, a good leader, people learn more from your life from your words. Because you can preach for an hour, but people are probably never seen and pray. Your message loses power. You can preach about faithfulness, but if people don't, when people see this honest in your life, your message is wicked. You can preach about forgiveness, but you mwenyewe hata upendi hata kusamehe. How will people follow you? Bwana Yesu asifiwe. You will need to be fast, good people, so that people whom we are leading, they might be. We are leading. Bwana Yesu asifiwe. But wewe ni yule mtu wa hold grudges. People will remember your action more than your words. No. Because say no. Be change your life. You need to become a good leader. It's a question that every leader must ask.